What's going on, guys? Let's give a huge shout out to Editor X for sponsoring this video, and let's jump in. Now that we dominate the sticky technique, let's create a new section right above. This will be our hero. Let's start by giving it 100 VH height and inserting one of our cool photos. Notice how we also have some really cool way to crop and edit our selected image before actually placing it on our canvas. It's like having our own Photoshop directly in here. I can even add cool overlay filters. Take a look at this cool fog motion blur. Not bad. Once you start growing your library of assets, it's good to use the tags to help you and others in your team find images quickly. And remember to check the file info panel. Check the file size and resolution before using it. Every kilobyte matters on the web. Nice. Let's expand it. You'll see that the size properties get disabled. Doing this soon will also remove the ability to add quickly more elements. So you might want to hold off expanding it until you have all your elements within your section. For example, I still want to add our StreamVR logo and a couple of other headings. We're going to use our semantic tag to be H1, but our heading style is heading 2. We'll want to align the text centered and adjust the size horizontally to fit nicely into our canvas. Just like that. Okay, great. So we'll do the same thing for the subheading. We want a paragraph and we want to type in an immersive new way to experience movies and games. There we go. Choose our paragraph style center and place it just below our hero title. Nice. And let's go ahead and bring our logo from the media files. Since our logo is not a rasterized image, we'll want to add a basic shape and swap it with ours. Okay, in our media panel, we can search for SVR logo and choose the file within our site files. We'll want to adjust the sizing. Remember, this is a visual editor, so resize to fit your taste and center it just above the hero title. Right now, it's a little hard to see, but all of our elements are now set. Let's go ahead and expand the background image again and make these titles white so that they are readable. We'll want to decide if we want our logo to be fluid or fixed. We're gonna get into this in another lesson, but personally, I don't like that the logo scales, as you have the viewport stretch. So let's change that back to a fixed instead. Okay, so now that I'm looking at this, I think the background image is still a bit distracting. So if we select the image and head over towards design properties, we can give it a background color and increase its opacity to 100%. Then right below, we can reduce the image opacity so that our hero title pops a bit more. 60% should do it. There we go. All right, the line spacing on that title seems a bit too much. Let's adjust it and set it to 1.1. Click outside and it should look much better, just like that. This will create some conflict as you resize the viewport. Even though we're docking both of them to the center, there's a better solution to this problem. So if we check our docking properties, we'll see how each one of these is docking to the top vertically, but centered horizontally. We'll want to make sure that they are all docked to the center. Why? Well, because we want to make sure that these are always centered, no matter what the height of the canvas is. Remember, 100 VH will always change based on the user's device. So let's do it with the logo first. And all you really have to do is click the blue dot from the top and it'll automatically set the logo distance to always dock from the center. For these other elements, we can do the same and make sure we have 0 left or right margins so that it stays completely centered. Be aware that we're using a percentage value on these text elements, and they are bound to change as you resize the viewport. Simply select both elements and choose Stack. This will group them in a container called Stack, and it acts just like a container. Let's go ahead and center it and expand it to 100%. Give a line break right after the video on demand so we can appreciate the statement in 2 lines. Okay. Stacking is great because now these are flexible. These will push each other if the text or viewport changes. Just note that this only works with elements that are stacked directly above each other. If you need to give each element some breathing space, you can always use the top or bottom margins. Let's go ahead and unstack this group and repeat it, but this time let's include our logo and make sure we centered everything nicely. Cool, there we go. We can start bringing a bit of color into the picture as well. Maybe we can sprinkle a little bit of that green into that hero. It'll give us a bit more pop. This is looking good. Now that we have created a stack, we can add quick items again. Let's finish by adding a button. Notice how it adds it in between our stack? We'll need to change its design properties. Let's start with background color and change that to the primary color green. Let's remove the border and make the font Avenir, 22 pixels. Yep, the width should be 200 pixels and at least 50 pixels tall. Okay, now let's go ahead and change the text to say, get started. There we go. Great. Okay, this is looking good, very clean and balanced, but I'm actually thinking this would look great if it was framed somehow. So let's add it using the padding property. Let's select our hero section, and under padding, let's give it about 10 pixels. We go ahead and hit that lock icon so that it affects all of the 4 sides, but we need to make it pop. So let's go ahead and bring that bright green into the border. There we go. There's this little neat effect that I want to show you. If you select the image element, you get this little cogwheel in the floating menu. It's a quick access point to the adjust panel, but right below it, we have something called scroll behavior. If we change it to parallax and then hit preview, check it out. It's a very cool little parallax effect that we can use to bring our designs to life. Now, if you want to experiment even further, you can use video instead of a background image. I took the liberty and created a slideshow with some stock photos. I actually put this together using Camtasia. Now, let's go ahead and drop that in using a video box into our hero section. Change the video to the slideshow that I just created, and then click update. We'll want to send it back using the keyboard shortcut Command arrow down or using the layers panel and simply drag the layers below the stack container. Alright, so by default, this video won't play, so we can click on the behaviors button on the floating menu and choose how you want this video to play. In this case, we want it to play automatically and we want to disable the ability to pause. Make sure you can also loop it when it finishes. Now, under design properties, we can set a cover image as it preloads and apply a pattern overlay. You can get really creative, just mind that every little extra kilobit matters. So for now, let's just keep it simple. This is looking real badass, but I think we're still losing readability. Let's go ahead and insert an empty container. Adjust the background color to help darken our video. This black color could be, I don't know, maybe 60%. Yeah, let's remove the 1 pixel border that comes by default. Let's position it behind our stack and expand it. Beautiful. Okay, to finish up, I want to animate everything into place. Editor X comes with a powerful built-in animation tool, and it's super intuitive to use. Click on the video layer on the floating menu. We have animation button. This opens up a pop-up with a bunch of predefined animations that you can experiment with. And just by hovering, it gives you a little preview. Let's go ahead and select Reveal. Then hit Customize. This one only works for images and videos, but I think it's subtle and it's very professional. Select Reveal from the bottom and have it at least 800 milliseconds or 0.8. We're going to make this very first element to appear, so let's keep the delay at 0. Right now, if we preview, it'll show the original photo we had behind it. So let's quickly hide it by selecting it from our layers panel. And under the 3 dots, we choose Don't Display. Now, it's as if the green background is revealing the image, but in reality, it's just the background of our section. Let's do the same with the rest of the elements. But instead, let's use this light-in animation, which is pretty cool. It wraps the element within a mask, and you can choose the direction and strength. For now, let's do logo at 0.8 and have a delay of 0.4 seconds. We'll do this with the rest and use the delay to have each element appear right after the previous one. You'll find this familiar if you've used PowerPoint before. Make sure that we have each delay spread out by at least 0.2 seconds. Let's preview. And wow, yeah, I love it. Give yourself a break and give it a try. Remember, putting your new learned skills into practice is how you unlock the power of Editor X. Let me know how it goes in the comments, and if you're ready, let's jump to the next lesson.